Evening, guys. So I'm doing a slightly subdued vlog this evening, so I'm tired, and it's something I was going to put off until tomorrow for some reason. I'm not sure why I was putting it off. For some reason, I'm sure, but basically, I wanted to reflect on and share my views about authenticity or being you, being who you really are deep down. Um, I guess part of the reason I put off doing this today is because I was recently diagnosed with ADHD and had to recently stop my medication because of my heart rate increasing quite a bit on the stimulants that were prescribed. And when I'm not medicated, my mind is very chaotic and it's very hard to focus or stay with one task. So I've been flitting around doing lots of different things today. So I guess that's why I've not been able to do this vlog any sooner. But I thought, because I'm feeling tired, my mind's chilled out a little bit, I'd give it a go. So yeah, authenticity, I guess it's something that's been more and more important to me as I've got older. It's definitely a harder path to follow. I think it's a lot easier to do what you think you should be doing or follow other people's expectations just because you don't meet any resistance. You just kind of roll with what other people want you to do. So when you are yourself unashamedly, you're bound to encounter sort of situations where people don't accept who you are, what you believe in, all those sorts of things. And sometimes it can be quite lonely. I find it sometimes easier just to be on my own, I guess, when I'm, at some points. I also think it's really important, in addition to being you and celebrating who you are, to also commit to growth and self-development. What I mean by that is learning more about yourself, committing to change the things that don't work, and just improving yourself and making yourself a better person. Something that's particularly important to me is kindness, which can be really hard in a stressful world when you're tired, annoyed, irritated, anxious, all those things, to then be kind to people around you, particularly people that you might not relate to or agree with. But I think as long as you're not causing any harm to anyone, being true to yourself is never going to be a bad thing. It's just that some people might not understand you or accept you, and really that's fine, because other people will. And it's just about finding people who do accept you for who you are. I guess the reason this is so important to me is because I remember when I was growing up as a teenager, I found it very difficult to fit in and feel part of any group. In hindsight, that could have been because of being gay, when actually the time I realised I was gay, it was not really talked about. There weren't really any gay role models on TV. In fact, I remember a storyline in EastEnders about Mark, who died from AIDS, and so there was a lot of stigma around homosexuality and AIDS and HIV, which wasn't treatable at that point. So yeah, it was difficult. People didn't really understand it. Other gay people weren't openly talking about being gay, so I didn't have any role models. So I kind of had to come out as being gay as the first person really in my year group, and then subsequently about 4 or 5 people followed suit. So that's great. I'm glad that that was the case, but it was quite difficult for me to do that. And I realised I was gay, I guess, mid to late 90s. I recognised that it would have been a lot harder to do the decade or a couple of decades, or however many years before that, because homosexuality was illegal in 1954 and still considered a mental health issue in up until 1983, which was the year I was born, where it was actually considered not to be a psychiatric illness anymore. So that's progress. And also I think probably being gay and open about sexuality possibly is easier now. So it may hopefully will improve as time goes on. I guess the experiences I've been through of being gay and having to be brave and come out, feeling quite segregated at times, although I'm sure it's never deliberate. It's just kind of how it is. You know, society maybe isn't able to really understand or cope with things they don't know much about. But because of that, I feel like I can empathise more so probably with minority groups and people who feel like they're on the fringe of society, because that's how I've lived my life, lived most of my life really. Also add on top of that, having ADHD makes it really hard to focus and make decisions and achieve your goals and all that sort of stuff. So I guess, yeah, who am I? I'm Craig, I'm gay, I consider myself within the LGBT group to be within what's called the bear community, or bears and cubs, which essentially is gay people who are slightly stockier, hairy guys. There's kind of a subsection. And also I have ADHD, so yeah, so there's a number of factors that make me quite different to other people, and that can be pretty tough, but I'm pushing forward, I'm being myself, I'm not gonna sacrifice who I am to fit in. Really, I just need to find my own tribe of people, so people that I can relate to, whether that be around sexuality or ADHD issues, so that I can feel like I belong as part of a group. And I'm starting to do that, and I'm meeting some wonderful people that I can relate to. Yeah, so that was my thought on authenticity. I think my message is just that even though it's hard, it actually feels intrinsically the right thing to do deep down, to be yourself. And although it's harder in terms of your place in society, it's easier in terms of your own sort of spiritual and emotional well-being in the long run. So yeah, I wish you all the best, guys, and I hope you can be you. Yeah, and that's it. So end of vlog, and wish you guys a lovely evening, or depends when you read this, watch this, sorry. Lovely day, lovely evening, whatever you're doing, and basically I wish you well. All right, take care, guys. Thank you for listening.